Nick, thanks for joining me after these excellent high-grade gold results from your initial drilling program at the Miriam project, which no doubt have exceeded expectations and also marks the best results to date from Miriam. To start, how do you see these results changing the overall scale and potential of the Miriam project?
Yeah, thanks, Alex. Look, we're overwhelmed with these results. They definitely exceeded our expectations. Obviously, leveraging the historical results, but more importantly, increasing both the thickness and grade on those old results. And really, now that we've tested in three directions and see that it's open in those three directions, it really does leave us wide open to continue to drill this through multiple more programs. And as it's only one target on our tenure, it really does amplify the gold opportunity of Miriam.
Okay, so now the assays have confirmed that the forest prospect remains open in multiple directions, and you've also identified fresh rock gold lodes. Where do you see the biggest opportunities for growth, and how do these results inform your follow-up drilling program?
Yeah, really good question. There's two key main areas that we took out from the drilling. The first is that we're able to discover a higher, thicker grade lode to the west on the western line. That was the 33 meters at 1.6 grams. And that was really encouraging. It was in an area that wasn't historically drilled. And then as we step out to the west, we can see there's no drilling on the western flank of that intercept. And so that really is quite encouraging for us, that even within the forest complex, that we know there's room in there for that thicker, higher grade lode to extend in both directions and also further out to the west. So that's something that is getting us really excited and something will be a focus moving forward. And the second part is, as you mentioned, discovering and identifying that fresh lode. By doing so there, we really have a step change in the forest prospect, where historically it's all been drilled in the oxide zone. And there wasn't any fresh testing. And now that we've discovered this new primary fresh lode, it really gives us the opportunity to, amplify and significantly increase the potential of forest. And now it's all about, working out, is that do we hit that lode on the edge? Is it through the middle? What's the angle? What's the dip and direction of that? And then obviously methodically drill it through further programs as well. And generally, once we find that primary fresh lode, we can then just continue to chase it down dip. So that's the exciting part for us moving forward, is not only do we have a really solid side potential there that we're extending in multiple directions, but more importantly, we've identified a fresh lode to the south that we look to extend. And there's fresh potential underneath the oxide zone at Forest. But with that southern lode and that hit of 12 meters at 1.5, what we see there is that between that point and our canyon target that's 1.5 kilometers south, there's been no deeper drilling below 40, 50 meters. So that really gets us pretty excited to amplify and extend the fresh component and extend forest.
Now, I also understand that you're keenly awaiting results from the Canyon prospect, 1.5 kilometres to the south. How significant could Canyon be in the context of the broader Miriam gold system?
Yeah, to put it simply for investors and anyone watching, Forest was a historical collection of drill results. We've now amplified the quality of that potential prospect and that potential deposit, and then extended. But with Canyon, it's a potential new discovery. It's ground that's never been tested. It's a 1.75 kilometer structural target that we have using magnetic data. And with that, Canyon does sit along the same shear as Forest. And that shear and that contact point between the mafic, it really sort of guides us of where the mineralization could be. That then heads north above Forest and it goes up to Burbank's Monarch, and then it skips over towards Burbank's itself, which is a 500,000 ounce deposit at 2 grams. So this is on that same geological structure, completely untested. We've got a 1.75 kilometer structural target. And with that, we did soil sampling earlier in July that came back with some really compelling results. And it overlapped that structural target with samples of over 1 gram or 1.2 ppm in a world where prospective soil sampling benchmarks are 50 ppb. So it's exceptionally better, and something that we got really excited about, hence why we brought it forward and tested it in this program with 11 holes. Most of those holes, as you would see, would be quite shallow, 60, 70 meters vertical depth. But just getting a feel of what's going on there, and no doubt there'll be future programs to look at Canyon beyond what we're waiting for in assays.
And finally, with these excellent results, how does gold now fit into the FBM broader exploration and development strategy?
Yeah, now that we've done forest and the results that are there, I think we've firmly planted our flag as being a gold exploration company. And then the results at Canyon coming out in the next couple of weeks does amplify that potential as well. But no doubt what we're seeing on the ground, historical data and the prospectivity we've been able to achieve in this first program thus far, it's pretty clear that there's exceptionally more potential here at Miriam and a lot more work to do on ground that's largely untested. And so moving forward over the next year, we're going to be firmly focused on the gold potential on our Coolgardie project, with also focus on other gold opportunities across the Eastern Goldfields, particularly around the Coolgardie and Kalgoorlie area. So with that, our lithium's not going away or not disappearing anywhere. We're actually converting it all to a mining lease, and really keeping and preserving that capital and preserving that value for when lithium does turn. But for now, our exploration dollars and clear focus is on maximising our gold potential here in WA.
Thanks, Nick. Look, congratulations on an excellent result for FBM and all the best for your future initiatives. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks, Alex. Speak soon.